Welcome back to another episode and another season of the Excellence Cartel. It is myself, Jeff Black, joined by, as always, Jason Theobald. Today we got in the co-host seats that we're bringing on for a little bit, Mr. Cade Zook. He is like elusive, call him the Shadow. And then, as always, our bro, Matt Chrisman, he is joining us as well. Today we are actually going to go over a two case studies. So, how we decided to set this up for y'all is each of us over the next two podcasts are going to present a case study. So, today we are going to have Jason and Matt go over their clients. And today we figured we would set it up from an angle where the person presenting will just talk about their case and then we will ask questions. So if you guys have questions who are listening, hit those up to us on social media because those can always turn into other podcasts for us pretty easy as long as we kind of know what you all want to know. With that being said, as always tradition, Mr. Cade Zook, how has your last 7 days been? I just saw you not long ago.
Pretty good. Nothing interesting really, just the same old stuff every day, hanging out with you a little bit. And yeah, that's about it, man. I mean, I just do the same thing every day. So yeah,
You're like,
nothing very fun. I wish I had something more fun to tell you guys, but like I do the same thing every day.
yep, you have a three-legged cat. That much I do know.
I do have a
Jason,
three-legged cat.
yep, you do have that. Jason, what about you? What do you got for the last 7 day, man? You looking
Let's
clean.
see. I just got in from running around the McLaren. It's a beautiful day, so I thought I'd put the top down, gas it up, just went around town for a minute, grabbed a coffee. Um, I woke up this morning and my wormhole trade on crypto was up about 13K, so I cashed that bitch out and made 13 G's in about 12 hours. So that was nice. Jeff, you benefited from that trade as well.
Sport over
And then we
50
found
for
out ThyroBoost is extremely potent now, and we had to put a sticker on every bottle quickly and stop sales and let people know they can only take one until they have labs come back that prove they need more. We had some really crazy numbers coming back on that. That product is super strong. Um, we always try to source the best one, and that's why we sold out last time because we did not like some of our options. Well, we found a good one. It's very potent. So anyone listening, if you take ThyroBoost and you got the new one, this is ThyroBoost Plus. Take one. Do not take more until you see that you need it. Remember, thyroid only needs to be anywhere from 3.3 to about a 4.4, and you're good to go. Anything higher than the 4.4, you're running hyper. And yeah, man, other than that, things are good. Business is steady. We got some people in town from Advanced Vitality. We just hired another nurse practitioner. Business is booming. It's great to be in anti-aging and HRT right now. So nothing but really good things, dude.
Oh yeah. Good for you, bro. Mr. Matthew, how are you?
I'm not doing too bad, you know. Last 7 days have been pretty good. Been filming for a new docuseries coming out on a major streaming platform. It's called Peptide Society. You're the aging, or you're with us or aging out. I believe is the title of it. So, been filming the last since last Sunday till past Wednesday. So yeah, that's been. Who knew filming for 4 days would be exhausting? But it was a cool experience, and we got some more filming to do the Olympia weekend, so that was fun. Now I'm up here at my mom's in outside Chicago in Hobart, Indiana. Um, it's nice out. It's taking care of some family matters and some other things around here, and found a cool gym called Iron Rails. Can't remember the owner, but I think he's like mutual friends with like Jason and Phil Viz and all these other guys. So super nice gym, 8,000 square feet, has a little bit everything from max pump to Panada to your old school Strive and Nautilus. So yeah, it's been a nice little, I guess not really a break, but it's been a nice little change of scenery for now. But yeah, last 7 days has been good. No complaints. Business has been
Nice.
good. Bio Longevity Labs has been great, and I got some more stuff, more products in the pipeline.
You guys already got so many. I get confused when I go on the site.
Yeah.
Um, I'll look and my eyes cross within like 2 minutes. My last 7 days, I got the functional range conditioning certification. I do a lot of stuff with Drew with mobility work. I'm gonna go a little bit further because I'm kind of starting to get have conversations about where that goes with Drew and I on some stuff. So I'm gonna go through deeper on that, and then other than that, it's been landing the plane. We leave for WrestlePalooza later today, so getting him, he goes up to Toledo, so it's a big moment because it's on ESPN, and I'll be up there, quick chilling him and warming him up, and kind of see how it goes. So long day, but pretty cool. It's a very, very different point in my career, and I've really had to kind of change my approach to training and kind of things I knew and really adapt and challenge myself. And it's paid off. The one thing I will say this, and this is how it'll probably segue, a great segue into Jason. Uh, if it wasn't for all the injuries I had, I wouldn't be able to work with Drew as well as I can.
Mm.
And that's because I've been injured so much like him. I can be like, oh, well, let's try this until I figure out something that kind of tinkers with him or kind of really understand what he means because I've was there. So that's why I always say experience is the best teacher. And Jason, with that being said, we're going to get into your case, which
Yeah.
you wanted to present today about yourself, which, when we talked about it, you and I, when we were texting, you only have ever posted in your stories, and it's a picture of you posting usually in the gym, and you will put like a paragraph up about what's up, and that's it. But you've never really
Yeah.
talked in depth about it. So go
Mm-mm.
ahead and break this down. Like, I think the last anyone knew might have been you were working with Dane back then, and you were kind
Yep.
of like scoping out that into stuff. So,
Yep.
adrenals, that area, where did you go and how did that resolve? And then you decide to go to the next area and kind of frame it how you want from there.
Well, I mean, I think I have to give a better frame of reference of what kind of precipitated all this.
Sure.
And I'll try to do that as quick as I can, but if without the context, it's kind of lost. In 2023 in August, I was pushing myself in training, training with the wife, and we both decided we wanted to get back on stage, and so we were training hard, and one day at the gym, I just started itching like a motherfucker. My chest was bright red, my head was bright red, my neck. And I'm not talking just like, oh, it's a little itch. I mean, it was like a burning red itch. And the only thing I wanted was cold air. I had to get out of the heat. I just wanted cold. And as soon as I'd calm down and it would go away. But every damn time I'd get in the gym and push myself, it would start back up. Had no idea what it was. I kind of figured it was something immune. I took some Claritin. It went away. And so I didn't think another thing of it and just went about my life. Training hard, doing whatever, done shows. Um, Fast forward to the end of the prep season last year. After Worlds, I got off stage and my lymph nodes swelled up like fucking Frankenstein nods on my neck. My ears were bright fucking red that morning, and that stuck around forever. And I did not know what was going on. I knew enough to know it was immune, but I wasn't really sure what the fuck was going on. So that took me down many, many rabbit holes. What I do know now is that the first symptoms were signs of mast cell activation syndrome. This is a histamine response, and then the mast cells degranulate, and then, it can attack skin. It can, and so my body was over flooded with histamine. So then it became why. And a lot of us thought, well, I'm businessman. I'm always got my hand in something. I work late hours. It was stress, right? So I pulled all that shit back, pulled my training back. Never really got better. Hired a few coaches. We did GI maps. I only had strep high on my GI map. We went at that. It didn't really seem to solve it. Um, I took another type of gut test and found out that I had Klebsiella and E. coli sky fucking high. I was producing histamine like a motherfucker, ethanol, and sulfur. And my body was not ridding it. And so it was building up in the skin. And so I did have a few little like hives I'd get on my belly at times with food. Um, and once we figured out that Klebsiella piece, it all started to make more sense. Well, I went back to my old gym in the midst of all this and trying to work this out. And I'm looking up at the vent and I see a shit ton of mold, black mold. Well, black mold will cause MCAS as well. So, when I was a kid, I was really susceptible to mold. Like we'd have vacations that we had to leave different hotels and stuff because my lungs would start to fill with fluid when there was mold in the hotel and you could smell it. Like we went to Mammoth Caves and I had to go to the ER. We went to Canada by the falls. We had to keep switching hotel rooms. Finally, we just left the vacation. So I'm very susceptible to mold for whatever freaking reason. And if you look at mold, it'll gum up your detoxification system and you won't release bile as well anymore. And if you're not releasing enough bile, you don't have the antimicrobial effects to help the gut take out these things. Well, I'm training hard. I'm eating 500 carbs a day, usually down in 2 Gatorades while I'm drinking straight sugar. All that shit will feed the hell out of Klebsiella. Um, and Klebsiella is a high histamine producer. Now, why I didn't get gas, constipation, bloat from any of this, I still don't truly understand. I didn't get any of those symptoms. I got all the fucking histamine symptoms. And I can only imagine it has to do with my detoxification system in some form or fashion. When I was in my 30s, I did bloat pretty bad, but I just thought that was because I was bodybuilding like a lot of guys and just pushing the shit out of food, shitty protein powders. Um, and once I kind of pulled back on food, it kind of went away, but I don't know if it was ever gone. And I think this reignited it. So I think I got a little bit of mold. And then this Klebsiella came back. So once we kind of figured all that out, then I had to go at it and like open up detoxification pathways, get myself opening up so sulfur can rid, so the ethanol can get out, go about killing this. So I'll stop there after it's framed. And if you got any questions, so it's not just me talking for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I actually want to ask you a question. Okay, what was any other symptoms you had? Like, how did it affect like your sleep? Like, what were other stuff that was going on? And also the other thing I want to ask is, what was your headspace like when you were
Yeah.
going through all this?
Yeah.
Because we deal with some crazy. You deal with more than any of us, like clients that come from crazy. Did that like kind of like change your perspective on some cases and some stuff by
Yeah,
kind of digging in and having to
for
like keep safe
sure.
face blown in?
Um, Other symptoms, I'd say, I was a night owl. I could not calm down at night, and histamine will push your heart rate. I mean, that's a known thing. And if you get too much of it, you'll actually have like tachycardia or whatever the fuck it's called, where your heart rate just goes crazy. And I didn't have any of that, but and I obviously didn't get anaphylaxis. If you get a real big dose of it, you can go into anaphylactic shock. But I was producing enough that it would make it hard to calm down at night and go to sleep. And if you'd watch my aura, it would actually spike at night when we're sitting on the couch. And so I'm trying to get to bed and my fucking, heart rate is showing high and it's showing stressed zone. Um, so that was a symptom. But as far as gut, I was regular, maybe a little bit more on the 2-3 side, but I was regular, didn't think much of it. I never ate a high fiber diet because I just felt better on like rice and cream of rice, but that's probably because that Klebsiella has always been there for a while. And so, maybe a little bit of poor sleep or just being agitated up, but none of the traditional gut symptoms really. I mean, I competed with this shit inside me and, I mean, I won. So, I mean, it wasn't like my gut looked a mess. So. And then as far as like perspective, yeah, I mean, dude, I mean, I'm still not out of the woods. Like I'm still on a kill phase right now. Like yesterday after training, my nose got bright red, my ears got bright red as soon as I ate, and it just burns, and you just get to sit there and deal with it till it moves. Um, and I'm still in the midst of the lymphs are still feeling a little full as I talk here, so I'm not out of it, but I've definitely made progress. But dude, it weighs on your mental. It's fucking tough. Like I've lost 30 pounds. Like I came from winning the Tampa Pro and Masters looking like I'm going to go to the Masters Olympia to losing 30 pounds. Like I was at my best and, now I'm a shell of myself. I can't train hard. So that, I don't get to feel that power, that strength. And I haven't had that for 13 months. So, dude, it's tough, but you got to get up every fucking day and you got to tackle it. And you got to, if the one thing don't work, you got to figure out something else. And that's the attitude I've taken with it. But it's obviously given me more sympathy, and empathy towards my clients for sure. And I think it's given me tools on how to talk them down off the ledge. Because I deal with a lot of people with a lot of stressful shit, man. And sometimes their journeys are 2 years long. And I got to remind myself of that. I'm 13 months in. It might not fully resolve for another 11. And I got to just accept that. So
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask what your training was like, but you pretty much
it's
answered
dog
like that.
shit.
Yes, dog shit. All right,
I just go to fucking not get any smaller, but it's fucking dog shit.
fair. Matt, Kate, you guys got anything you want to ask on this before I kind of ask something?
I'm good. I don't have anything. You pretty much asked what I was thinking.
All right.
Yeah, same for me here.
Next question I actually got. Your diet and your fasting. I know that radically changed. Can you explain why that radically changed and what you kind of noticed as you were doing this, especially those fasting windows you were going through? You were doing crazy shit there for a minute.
Like a
So,
week, right?
Yeah.
if you look at it, I think we put the fasting a little too quickly, okay? Because we did not get the gut infection gone. The root cause of all this is that Klebsiella in strep and
Okay,
E. coli.
fair.
So you fast to calm the immune system, but you're not going to calm it if you don't kill the root issue. So unfortunately, I believe I still have a lot of fasting in front of me to calm this the quickest, but I'm not going to start it again until I know this gut is calmed down and the Klebsiella is not high. So I just sent off another stool test. I want to see where I'm at. I'm in the second kill phase. I want to see if it's being pushed down or not. And then once I finally get a stool test back that is good, then I will go into reseeding the gut, rebuilding the gut lining, and then I will start fasting again because that will calm the immune system the fastest. Fasting with autophagy will dig out those mast cells. It will dig out a lot of that overinflammation. But I think when we did that back in the day, we weren't going hard enough at the gut. I was on a little bit of colloidal silver. I was on a little bit of neem. It wasn't going to get it done. And it was never cleared out. So that was kind of the cart before the horse. So honestly, it proved to me I can do it. I mean, I fasted 102 hours. It was like Sunday night to fucking Friday or some shit.
Yeah,
Um,
you kind of
No fucking
put that
way.
on your stories, I think, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know I have the cojones to do it, and
Yeah.
it fucking sucks, and I really don't want to do it again. Um, but I probably will have to if I want to speed up. Now, I could stay low histamine and maybe throw in keto, and it finally would quiet. But if I want to get it quieted the quickest, once this kill phase is done and this shit is down, the fasting's gonna have to happen again.
All right. So now I got to lead to this question. You're the wizard. So what are you doing with the peptides? The
Stole my
reason I ask,
question.
yeah, yeah. Well, you didn't speak up,
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
LL37, you have me doing that
That was my next question.
for my kill phase. Haha, took A and B.
Yeah.
LL37. So, what are you doing? And I guess maybe unroll that. Like, let's go back to when it first started. Like, what were you doing peptide, anything wise in terms of medications, supplements, and how has that evolved? Because I think seeing that big picture too, because I know stuff you were doing, and it's really neat what you were doing behind the scenes. So I think the audience would like to hear that. I know I would again.
So early on, I mean, we started on some retatrutide because if you look at the literature, retatrutide will lower inflammation. It's actually helpful in MCAS side like symptoms, which I had. And so we started retatrutide. I've used KPV as a peptide to help with gut lining, but also modulating the immune system. So again, mine's overactive. If you look at my GI map, my SIG-A was 4,500. So it's not tanked. My body's saying, hey, your gut lining sucks. You're under attack. I'm going to fight it. And it's fighting it strong. It hasn't finally said fuck off and be a 200 like I see a lot of people. That means it's just done. Like your body's not fighting it at all. It's trying, but I need to modulate that back down or else I'm going to keep having these fucking symptoms. So the KBV was, something I used here and there. I use larazotide. It's known to help close up tight junctions. And anyone who has histamine issues, you're going to have a leaky gut. I mean, shit is getting out of the gut that should not be getting out into the bloodstream. So I use some larazotide in there, and I probably will go back on that. But you don't want to use these things forever. Those peptide pathways will finally just stop responding, and I think I got there. So I pulled that. I've pulled the KPV for now. I pulled LO37, but I'm getting ready to go back on it. Matt just helped me get some. And the way I'm going to use it is in my kill phase. I'm using rifaximin because it's if you look up Klebsiella, it is the number one hardest to eradicate. And so I'm on some rifaximin. I'm using berberine. I'm using colloidal silver, and I'm going to bring in LL37 with some thymosin alpha 1 because thymosin alpha 1 will guide it. It's like a heat-seeking missile. It'll tell it, code it for more of the bad bacteria instead of the good. So I combine those together. But again, I these are all rotated in and out. I don't stay on any of them forever. I get the pathways to open back up and then I hit it back in. Um, but I have stayed constant on Retta. I will say that for just overall inflammation right now. But I will eventually take a break from that as well once I get these things really calmed. I think those are the main peptides I used. I'm getting ready to use
Bioregulators,
huh?
bioregulators.
I used Glandicort way back in the day for my adrenals because I was running high cortisol. Um,
That stuff's crazy.
and
Looks good.
my cortisol is now good. It's like a 9 to a 10, which is really good. But my cortisol numbers were, dude, when I was
Through the
building my
roof.
businesses, man, I've taken tests where they were like 38 in the morning, like 22, like, you know, success always comes with a price, and I guess I'm dealing with that now, is what it is. And I've pulled back a lot, and you learn your lessons. And but yeah, so I did use Glandicort. And then I'm getting ready to use a peptide called VIP that Vince Pitstick just recommended to me. I haven't researched it a lot yet. Matt might know more and be able to give the audience a little bit. I just ordered it. I got to dig into what it's going to do. But I know it's good in gut cases. And so I've got it on order and I'm going to research it here in a bit. But again, I rotate them in and out. I don't stay on them forever. But those are some of the ones that I used off and on to kind of rebuild gut lining. And kill off some microbes and things of that nature.
Matt, you got anything you want to chime in? Any on that peptide that he was talking about, VIP?
That's still relatively new to me. We just came out with that as well.
Yeah.
I know our regular Vylon, I believe it's like
Yeah, you
I
said
call it BPC meets thymosin alpha 1, so that's something to look into as well.
yeah, you gave me a bottle of that. You're
Uh,
supposed to take like a meg a day for 20 days because it's like a
What's it called?
bioregulator. Violent.
Vylon, Vilon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of
Yeah,
that one either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
He sent me a bottle of it to try, so I was gonna run that.
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess my next question as a bodybuilder, what was your year like? Because you talked about losing 30 pounds. You are on a small dose Retatrutide. So I mean there are these things in there that can plus you can't train beyond more than anything from what you're saying. You can't really get it going. So what were you doing gear wise? What did it look like?
Oh, just I've just been on 250 mgs a test. That's where I feel best. So that's what I do. Mine's a little higher than the general TRT. What I found with GH, dude, I'm not even on it right now because sometimes when I take it, it seems to stir up the mast cells. So my nose will get bright red, my ears will get red, and I just kind of read that it can push those types of reactions because it's speeding up the mitochondria. So anything that speeds up mitochondria, I have to be careful with. Like I'm not in an AD. I'm not on a MOTS. Any of that stuff right now is not what I need. Now, once I get this under control and I don't have these goddamn immune reactions, then they would be great. But right now, anything that spins mitochondria harder can push that mast cell, that histamine response. So I'm just been doing some testosterone, and I'll rotate in like 100 mgs to 200 mgs of mast, just to control estrogen. I'm no like during through all this, I did run my genetics too, and I am prone to convert more testosterone to estrogen. I kind of knew that from when I was young. Like my legs always stayed kind of fatty. It took years till they could get veiny, and I would always be ripped in the midsection and struggling to get my quads in. So I kind of knew that, but it was plain as day in the genetics. It showed that. So little mast in there to just help control that side of things.
Fair. Do you guys have any questions or anything? Or Jay, you got anything you want to wrap up on that? I got a lot of what I wanted to ask out.
Um,
I just have a question about,
yeah,
you said you lost 30 pounds. Like, what's your diet like now? Like, do you have to
yeah.
watch what you eat to like,
Fuck yeah, I do. Yeah, so
Good
like
question.
when you're trying to kill off a gut and stuff, especially like Klebsiella that feeds on carbs and sugars, you definitely can't go high carb. And technically, it's best to go keto as much as you can. I've been kind of doing a keto off and on, where I'll do 2 days keto, 2 to 3 days keto with 2 days of carbs. But I can't go high enough carb to hold weight or even start to grow because it'll feed the bacteria. So like I mean, my calories are probably 1,800 to 2,000, and I fast till noon, and then I eat 3 meals a day. And usually by that third meal, I'll get some sort of reaction just from the buildup of the byproduct of like the die off, the food hitting the bugs. It's brutal. I really wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I really said that. I wish I had the constipation, gassy SIBO. Like that's just not that big of a deal. But your ears getting red in the heat. I can't be out in the heat or else shit's bright red. It's pretty brutal. It really does impact your life. I've joked a little bit about it, but it's been a long fucking year. I ain't gonna lie. I really just haven't shared much on social because I really don't. I haven't beat it yet, and so it's not really time to beat on the drums and yay, look at me because
Right.
I'm still in the
Still
throes of it. I'm
battling.
better than I was, but it's still got some work to go.
Lots of peaks and valleys with your energy levels too when that happens, like your die
Well,
off.
yeah, because dude, the keto, I mean, I can function on keto, but I never feel my greatest. And like, I'm one of those guys who like has lower serotonin.
Yeah.
I'm more
Me.
gas and no brakes. So I have low GABA. I'm known to have low serotonin. I'm more epinephrine, more norepinephrine. So when you're on keto, that shit just shoots up.
Shoots
So
up.
my moods will swing where I just don't really want to be bugged by anyone or talk to
Hmm.
anyone or
Yeah.
don't don't look at me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then when I get some carb days in, I feel way better because carbs help produce serotonin. And so yeah, dude, I mean it's up and down. But that's also
Yeah.
up and down. I'll have a bad day where things just feel worse. My ears will get red
Hmm.
after meal one. And I'm just like, God damn, dude. Like, is this shit ever gonna resolve, you know?
Yeah.
So that's gonna affect your moods too. I'm trying to stay as positive as I can, but I ain't gonna lie and not say there's been days where I'm just really kind of down about it.
Understand. Yeah.
I've, I'm good.
Jason, I got one more question.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How does this like let's say you get healed from this completely
Yep.
6 months from now, whatever. Does that how does that like affect your mentality going into like do you try to put back on the muscle or are you kind of
Yeah.
scared to eat the food? Like you know what I mean? Are you
I'm
kind of like
scared to eat the food again to that level. And I got such a fast metabolism. There's no way I'm going to eat 2,500 calories and put 30 pounds of muscle back on. So I've thought long and hard about that. And I'll be honest, I'd be happy if I gained 15 back and stayed as lean as I am. Because I mean, I have shredded glutes. I'm just tiny. I have no fat on me. I mean, it's all gone. You add a little bit of Retta and fucking fasting. I mean, there ain't nothing left. So if I added 15 pounds of muscle back, I really don't think I need the stage anymore. I don't know that I trust my body. I don't think I trust my body to put that kind of stress on it. And after reflecting, I mean, I've got it made. I mean, I've built businesses that financially I'm set. I've got a great wife, good kids. I don't really need to put myself back under that. I just want to be fully healthy. And if I can gain 10 to 15 more pounds, I think I'll be happy as a pig in shit. I really do. So
Well, I'll be glad to send you some recombinant follistatin when we get it.
nice.
Put on put on a couple kilos in
Yeah,
a few day
man.
a few weeks.
If that'll help without having to force feed food, that's the ticket.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, dude, anyone else gonna wrap it up before we kick it over to Matt and pick his on him for a minute? Jay, that was really good, man. I
no,
didn't,
so
Thanks,
I
dude.
know I've known a lot because me and you've talked about a lot because, we're friends
Yeah.
and stuff. So, I appreciate you sharing that because I know in
Yes,
this world
sir.
it's been clicks. All right, Matt. So you're the one who mentioned that FRC certification to me. Really good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You work with a lot of high level athletes, NFL, obviously WWE, Drew, stuff like that, like me. So, what client are you going to go over and kind of give us the background on that?
We're gonna go with client of mine. His name is Nick Turner. He's just an everyday guy. He's a competitor, loves bodybuilding, loves like the old school bodybuilding, all that. He's around my age, 36, 37. And he was dealing with a debilitating knee issue where he couldn't train like he used to. And he'd go see all these doctors, different specialists. He went to see some specialists in the Northeast, and they were one to like take apart his knee or something and then like restructure his knee to where they put certain rods in to, kind of help facilitate that knee issue from happening. And he was like, nah, I'm not into that. So they went to another specialist up north around, I think, Ohio or Michigan area. His dad knew, and they kind of told him the same thing. And he's like, nope, I'm not doing that either. He's just wanted to exhaust all his options before he even thought about that type of procedure, which could be, life altering. And so he messaged me out of the blue and was like, hey, I don't want any bullshit. And he was like straight up. He's like, is there any way you kind of went around of what he kind of explained everything that was going on. He's like, no bullshit me. He's like, you think you can help me with this? I was like, if you give me opportunity, I'm willing to try. And came into my office and kind of looked at him structurally, kind of did all these different measurements and things like that, and kind of find out he had a shorter leg on the opposite side of that leg, which everyone has asymmetries, right? And kind of shied away from, like doing whole foot lifts and things like that. Even though doctors wanted him to do like a heel lift, which I don't think makes sense because you're just elevating the heel. You want to elevate the full foot, right, to balance that out. So anyways, found out he has structural short leg, about 6 millimeters. So it's pretty significant leg length inequality. And so what we began to do was, obviously doing a lot of NST stuff, which is neurosomatic therapy, which that's what my discipline is, and my certification degree is in. And so we did a lot of work on his knees. We did 2 sessions a week. So he went aggressive. He pretty much paid me a crap ton of money up front to see me twice a week, every week, to help facilitate better function in that leg and that knee as he's walking, because he wasn't able to do like daily tasks, whether it's like walking. He'd had massive discomfort in his knee, especially working out. He couldn't do any squats, leg presses, even leg extensions. So he literally couldn't train lower body except maybe hamstrings, right? So that was really couldn't focus anything on like quad focus and things like that. And so when we got the x-rays, like I said, he had the leg length inequality. And so kind of different things that we did, it was kind of addressed a lot of the hip issues and imbalances, because sometimes you could have instead of having a fixed leg length, some people can be functional where a muscles are pulling a certain way where it causes the hips to pull on the bones and cause that kind of like functional short leg, right? From different activities, overuse, and things like that. And so addressing all those different musculatures, like we address the psoas because that connects to your L spine, your hips, all the way down to your lesser trochanter, the lower leg. So we addressed a lot of that. Yeah, pectineus. Yep, addressed a lot of that, and we also iliacus, your tensor fasciae latae, your TFL. So we addressed a lot of the deep hip rotators and things that would kind of stress a lot of stuff on the knee, and obviously a lot of the rec fem too. Working a lot of that, and working directly on the knee. Like there's a hidden muscle that's behind the kneecap. It's called the articularis genou. It's the only French body part in your body. Fun fact. So while everything else is Greek, right? So it's called the articularis genou, and so worked a lot of that. And that was actually one of the culprits, along with obviously the other musculars that I mentioned, like the psoas, TFL, the rec fem, the adductors, pectineus, iliacus, all those musculars that were causing a lot of that dysfunction and that functional leg length that was happening. And so as we begin to almost like uncoil him, because he kind of had like a rotation in his pelvis. Right. So as we begin to like uncoil him, because if you kind of see DNA, right? DNA it curves around, right? It's like a ladder. It has a curvature, right? It's a spiral, right? We're all like kind of spiral beings. And he says, if you look at like trees, things like that, it's all a spiral, right? So you kind of look at in that space.
LSD
it's kind of what's that?
LSD and spirals, I know.
Yeah. So it's you got to think of your body as everyone's asymmetrical, so you're almost in that spiral lining. So it's, in a sense, we're kind of like uncoiling him in a sense of in his anatomical posture, if you will. So kind of uncoiling everything and undoing and unwinding all those the fascia tissue and getting those to get back in place to where they're supposed to. And using the newbie by NewFit, that helps bring more neurological activity to the musculars to kind of help with that musculature re-education, if you will, to kind of get those musculars to get, tell signals from the brain to the muscle to like, hey, get back in line. So once we facilitated a lot of my hands-on therapy along with the NewFit and some FRC motions that I have them do during the sessions and outside our sessions, and even doing it in conjunction with a newbie, which we've done with you, Jeff, a couple of times, which we probably need to do more of.
Fuck no, that
But
shit's
yeah,
my faith.
yeah.
It's hard.
So incorporating all that was able to get him to like uncoil on why and get back into that space better, to where he, after we did about 4 to 6 weeks of, that's what, 6 weeks of 2 times, so 12 sessions, he was able to squat for the first time without any pain. And it was only 135, but that's more than he's done in several years. And he was able to walk around, work without any pain. He works, he's like a mechanic engineer for like Tropicana. So working all like different machines, make sure they don't break down. It's pretty crazy how that place runs 24/7, making it's like 600 bottles a minute or something like that. It's crazy. But anyways, those machines, he's constantly working on his knees in different awkward positions. He's able to get in those positions and not have any of that discomfort while walking or bending over or kneeling and things like that.
All right. So earlier you said you did an assessment. Okay. And this is something I think as online coaches, people should hear.
Mm-hmm.
When you're prescribing a workout program, right? And I know this from in-person training, there's a lot of things on machines people cannot do, set up correctly, exercises. Cade knows this. He does a lot of in-person too. There's just things that you have to ditch immediately with people, like they don't work. And so you prescribe these arbitrary workouts. So when you do an assessment, what are you looking for? And how do you advise an online coach, like get a better assessment of someone's body before giving them a workout? Because that's like my new thing now. I'm like, hey, get against the wall. I want to see the full thing. I want to see you barefoot. I want to see your feet.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see all
Yep.
this stuff so I can assess, because then that'll help me know where I need to start building and what's doable and not.
Yeah. So the best way, things I do assess is kind of what I learned in school. It's like we do 82 different measurements, which I do half of them. I do the main ones to see what's going on. So I look at the cranium and the pelvis. So the cranium pelvis relationship, right? Because form follows function, function follows forms. So where your hips are at, where your cranium's at, it's going to follow. It's that inverse relationship there.
Right.
So I look at the cranium, look at the hips, pelvis area, and I'll also look at the shoulders and kind of see where they're at in space, standing there. And then I'll have them walk. I'll look through their gait patterns and walk, kind of see where the issues is, whether like if they have any translation in their shoulders when they walk, or lack of translation in their shoulders, or the way, because some people like walk, like one shoulder's moving and one shoulder's up here doing this right when they're walking. So I kind of look at their gait patterns, kind of see what's going on. Also, what's going on in their feet, the foundation of your body. So kind of see what their feet are going, whether they're, their gait pattern, whether they're outwardly rotated or they have an inverse foot pattern, or eversion or inversion of the foot gait pattern as they plant.
Like,
so I'll
does
look
the
at
foot
that.
fall in or rotate out?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And then I like to see them how they run, like a jog on a treadmill.
Right.
You see them from the side view, and then you look from behind to see what's going on there. So that's a lot of telltale stories too of what's going on in the hips, the shoulder translation, and how they're moving, especially rotational wise, in those twisting motions as you do that running gait pattern, kind of see if things are stuck or not moving the way they're supposed to. So I do those, I guess, 4 different analysis from a fixed position to lying down, to movement, and then to running or walking, and then to light jog running.
Yeah, because what you're going to see as people get more advanced, it changes and they actually lose mobility, the space of their joints. So they become more restrictive, and you actually have to turn the key back the other way. Jay, what were you going to say?
I had 2 questions. One is just something I've always just been curious about. The first one, Matt, is like, How is like your education or what you do different than like a physical therapist? And then number two, would you have been able to fix this person from afar? Like, would they have been able to contact you and done all these things without you getting your hands on them, or is that impossible in this situation?
As far as the difference between me and a physical therapists, I mean, they're stuck to like a rule book in a sense, right? I mean, they're only taught what, I guess what I call like indoctrination, right? I was like, this is it, this is the way, this is the only way. Which I have PT friends who actually they they're cash based because they don't want to deal with insurance because
Mhm.
insurance
Sure.
obviously.
I don't blame them.
Between that, yeah. So it limits them. So that's the same with neurosomatic therapy. Is I mean, obviously I'm a licensed massage therapist technically, but with this schooling, I did 2 years at the Center for Neurosomatic Studies, and it's very hands-on based, very niche type of work. It's basically a spin-off neuromuscular therapy. So this is neuromuscular therapy with the St. John method. So the difference in what we learn is like looking at gait patterns, which obviously PT looks at gait patterns, but they also don't look at they don't look at the organs, like what's causing, like say if I do a measurement standing up and it's totally different when they're lying down. Like let's say the hip on standing up, the left hip's higher, but when we lay down, the left hip's lower and the right hip's is higher, and then the shoulder, same thing, like one's higher standing up, but laying down it's even. So then that's what we call an SPM. So there's something going on. That's when I ask, like, hey, you have any digestive issues, or do you have any type of like kidney pain or things like that? And they're like, yeah, actually. So that's called an SPM. So when things are switched in the measurements is when it's like, oh, it's more of an organ thing, or it's more of something going on in the diaphragm,
Right.
um, things like that. So that's not what they teach you in physical therapy, from what I know.
Gotcha.
I just feel like this was way more in depth on how the body moves, going with Wolff's law, which is form follows function and function follows form. And then we go through Davis's law, and all those different type of disciplines that we've learned in that program, and look at the measurements and see if people are stuck in that fixed position, and just really looking at the body as a whole, versus all right, what's going on? Oh, your shoulder hurts. Okay, then
Got
this
it.
is what we're going to do. We really, instead of chasing symptoms, we go to the source of the issue.
Yeah, kind of like functional
Yeah.
nutritionists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Same thing.
And then dealing with online people, I've helped people from UK, Canada. I have a lot of Canadian clients actually, online, that I kind of help, um, through, without even having me to be there. So it depends. It's case dependent.
Yeah,
Like sometimes I'll be like, dude, let me, like, show me what area you live in. I'll see if I can find someone that could best possibly could help you with that. But there's some things, like especially with the FRC and the way they move and giving them certain homework for them to do. Uh, it's made a difference and an impact on them. Like I've had this one lady, she was dealing like sciatica, and I had her do a bunch of different hip movements, rolling certain parts of the musculatures, like showing her, on the Zoom on how to do it. And she literally, her symptoms and all that went away within like 3 days.
oh,
And she
cool.
hasn't had any issues since. So she refers me people all the time. Uh, so yeah, it's possible dealing with people online. It's case dependent. Obviously,
Yeah,
there's some where I'm like, can't really help with herniation, but if you do this, or refer them to somebody that I feel would be trustworthy or decent enough to get them some type of relief.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Kate, you got any questions?
Yeah, I have a question about the guy's knee. Did he injure it, or like was there a specific thing that happened to it, like, or did he have MRIs or anything done to it, or he just was just in a lot of
Yeah,
pain for like?
yeah. So randomly he didn't have any type of dramatic like injury to it. It's literally almost like day to day stuff. It's like overuse almost. Like one day he'd be at the gym, he'd try to do it. And he's like, dude, I can't go past, I can't even go to 90, you know, and without any type of issues. And it was just something that was gradual of having that leg length discrepancy, that functional
Okay.
leg length discrepancies. I think the more you constantly feed that, obviously, it's like the more impact it's going to have, and the worse it gets, the more, you know, overuse from that. So I think it was more so from overuse and not figuring out what the actual issue was.
That
Well,
was
did the leg length, the script, sorry, Jeff,
no, go
did
ahead.
the leg length, did it cause anything else like hip or back or, because, they say
He
it starts from the
yeah,
ground up, right?
right. So he was dealing like, if anything, he had like on the same side, he was dealing with like a little bit of like low left like QL pain. But yeah, he had some residual like pain, not only just in the knee, but like hip stuff and also like in the low back area. But mainly it was a lot more knee. But yeah, he did have some hip issues and some QL issues as well.
Yeah, I will say this just from my own experience, Kate. When I tore that glute and then I basically fractured that hip, then tore the glute and got that nerve and everything, I should have stopped. Like, and what I did was just work around it. That created a bunch of other issues. And it's literally, I coiled myself back up. And what they will do is if you have any kind of injuries, and I know this from me, they will immediately look at an X-ray and be like, "You are fucked. The only way this is fixed is via surgery." And oftentimes, the only reason I think I was able to decipher that that surgeon was wrong in my case on the double level fusion, the double hip replacement, all that shit he wanted to do to me, was strictly on the basis that most people I think don't understand how deep a bone really is and how deep that joint pain would really be. And a lot of it's surface level tissue and things like that. And that's where things like Matt's not wrong. You go to PT, they can only fix you so much and they won't tell you to go further. And there's only so many things like my back, I did everything they tell you not to do, and my fucking back got better. It was the wildest thing. So there's just a lot out there. Like spondylolisthesis, they'll say you can't treat it. I stopped my grade slippage. So um, it's just really weird, like on that stuff, how that presents itself, and then people automatically assume they just need a surgery, uh,
Mm-hmm.
rather than kind of work themselves back out of it. And it's often a nervous system is closed down and said it won't accept the new space, combined with a bunch of tissue damage that's like hardened up and it just won't move. And there's really a lot that goes into it. It's wild, but
Mm-hmm.
Jason talked about 2 years on his. I'm like 7 on mine, but I'll say about 2 really kind of pushing once I understood what it was. And it's really about that long if you're going to avoid a surgery to kind of work it back out, in all honesty.
Yep. Yep. You should always advocate for yourself, like Jeff
Mhm.
has. He's like, no, I'm not dealing with that. It's like, that's all they want to do is push that procedure, and this and that. And so if you advocate yourself, find different alternatives that you think, that you believe would help. Like Jeff, I've introduced him to FRC stuff and it's done wonders for him. He's found the new Boso technology for feet stuff, how important your feet and that big toe is too.
Yep.
So it's just a lot of stuff out there that where you can actually make yourself better and avoid a lot of procedures. There's some procedures that are necessary, but there's a lot where you can
Yeah.
create that space within those joints, whatever you're working with, like whether your hip joints or shoulder joints, your cervical spine, working all those, spaces. I think if you create a lot of the space there, the more muscle you can grow, the more you can move. Because, like I said, you can't move where you can't move. You can't force it, right? So you got to create that capacity. So I think if you do that and advocate for yourself, I think you can almost, I think you can heal yourself. I mean, look at Jeff. I mean, he's 2 years in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I pretty much I tore my ACL and I never got surgery and I healed myself with that. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
I worked with that knees over toes guy
Yeah.
and it helped a lot. And my knee's not perfect. I kind of probably walk with a little bit of a, not a limp, but like it's just kind of like off. Yeah, you can just tell. And
Yeah.
but my knee works great. I could squat and hack squat and everything. I
Yeah.
probably would, if a dog chased me, I'd probably blow my entire knee out if I was to sprint. But
Right.
Fair. Well, I'm all good on my part. That was a really good one. I think both you guys I enjoyed today. I know that Kate and I have to follow you guys, so hopefully we'll make it interesting. Is there anything you guys want to say, wrap up with before we call it? We'll be back in a week or two.
No, I
You
think
I
guys,
don't
good.
think so.
That was solid. That was great.
all right. Well, you guys all look good. May crypto keep winning, and we'll see each other soon.
CBCN, baby. Let's go.
See you guys. Ciao.
See ya.
Later, man.